watching Vnews Bulletin from another headlines as usual.
A million housing units for low-income earners to be built by 2030. Healthcare tourism untapped potential in Vietnam. And later on, exploring the serene and adventurous fairy waterfall.
The northern province of Tuyên Quang is the capital of the revolution and where the party in President Ho Chi Minh stayed during the wartime. Over the past time, the local authorities and people have followed the late president's teachings to promote solidarity and spare no effort to develop a prosperous province. For local people, images of the beloved Uncle Ho always remain in their hearts and minds.
In the memory of Hoàng Ngọc, an 85-year-old man in Tân Lập village in Tân Trào, Kham Mueang, Uncle Ho was a great and homely person. Despite his busy schedule as head of the country, he spent time with soldiers and farmers, encouraging them to boost production.
Uncle Ho built an embankment so that the fields would be dry. At the time, we did not know he was Uncle Ho. He was the eldest in the revolutionary delegation to Tuyên Quang, so we called him Sir Kẻ, or the old person, and Sir Revolutionary Kẻ.
Lang Sa village in Sơn Dương district, Hợp Thành commune, was selected as the first destination for Uncle Ho, the party central committee, and the government to lead the National Resistance War in 1947.
At the time, villagers were facing extreme difficulty. There was nothing but cassava and sweet potato for Uncle Ho.
During the Resistance War, Uncle Ho lived and worked in Tuyên Quang for 6 years, where he and the party central committee organized many important meetings and made decisions that led to a landslide victory over the invaders.
Each historical site and revolutionary base will go down in history, highlighting the contributions of Tuyên Quang's ethnic minority people to the country's revolutionary war.
Following Uncle Ho's teachings, the local party committee and people joined hands to build Tuyên Quang into a locality, boosting self-development in the northern mountainous area. It now has 54 new-style rural areas and boasts 47 million Vietnamese dong, or over $2,000 in per capita gross regional domestic product, or GRDP.
The war is far behind us, but for our veterans, memories of the years standing shoulder to shoulder with volunteer Vietnamese soldiers and experts in the war against a common enemy for independence and freedom for the people of the two countries had never faded. For them, the memories are unforgettable. It has been a long time since these two veterans had the opportunity to visit the area where they fought and shared joy and sorrow with Vietnamese soldiers who went to Laos on international duty.
I have never forgotten that during the battle, the Laos soldiers and Vietnamese volunteers and experts considered each other as siblings, fighting side by side.
The plain of Cha Siêng Hoang is located along what was then the transportation route from North Vietnam to the Indo-Chinese battlefield. For many years, the U.S. invaders constantly bombed the area. And here, the Vietnam-Lao comradeship and brotherhood matured over the years.
Vietnamese soldiers were responsible for protecting the plain of Chas, especially protecting the supply of food and weapons from Vietnam to Phnom Penh in Laos. The enemy used bombs, mines, artillery, and aircraft to bombard the area. But the Vietnamese and Laos troops successfully defended the route. The solidarity was incredibly strong.
Growing up as a communications soldier after 40 years in the army and retiring in 2006, Lieutenant Colonel Khamdi Van Nahat still can forward the names of the Vietnamese experts who not only lived and fought together with Laos soldiers.
Thanks to the enthusiastic, dedicated teaching of Vietnamese experts, my communications companies was awarded the hero title, and many of its members later had opportunities to study in Vietnam and Russia.
Decades has passed, and the dance bomb craters on the plain of Chars have become a famous tourist site. Visitors to this place can not only learn about the mystery of the thousands of years old Chars, but also about the fighting alliance and the special Laos-Vietnam relationship. Vietnam's public debt in the 2017 to 2021 period decreased dramatically from 61.4% of its GDP to 43.1%, according to the latest information released by the Ministry of Finance.
Government debt, government-granted debt and local government debt also decreased. In addition, the country's foreign debt also decreased to 38.4% of GDP by the end of 2021, compared to 49% in 2017. Notably, foreign debt decreased while domestic debt increased. By the end of 2021, foreign debt was some $46 billion, while domestic debt rose to more than $93 billion, accounting for over 67% of outstanding government debt. The Ministry of Finance reports show that by 2021, Vietnam's largest bilateral creditor was Japan, with more than $15.5 billion, followed by the Republic of Korea, France, and Germany. Meanwhile, the World Bank was the biggest multilateral lender of Vietnam with over $16 billion, followed by the Asian Development Bank with about $8 billion. In April, Deputy Prime Minister Lê Minh Khai said the decision approving the public debt strategies until 2030, which sets a target of keeping it at under 60% of the GDP and government debt not exceeding 50% of GDP in 2030.
Vietnam has planned to build at least 1 million apartments of social housing for workers and low-income earners by 2030.
According to a notice on the Prime Minister's conclusions at a recent conference on social housing development, hundreds of social housing projects have been completed, benefiting hundreds of thousands of low-income earners. Developing social housing for workers and low-income earners forms an important part of the social economic development policy, and is the responsibility of the state and society, Prime Minister Chinh affirmed. The Prime Minister noted the state encourages economic sectors to develop social and affordable housing for workers under the market mechanisms, and that is also working to provide housing assistance for low-income earners in urban areas and workers in industrial parks, thereby helping to guarantee political stability and social security. Developing social housing is a task of not only the party and state, but also the entire political system, businesses and people, he emphasized. Besides, it is also necessary to pay due attention to properly developing boarding houses and attracting investors, including foreign ones, to the building of social housing for workers and low-income earners.
Vietnam set to take shape 7 maritime economic clusters by 2030, aiming to turn Vietnam into a strong marine country and promote sustainable development in relevant regions, sectors, and fields.
The information was stated in the recent decisions by the Prime Minister to approve a project on the development of marine economic clusters associated with building strong sea-based economic centers by 2030. The project aims to build 7 marine economic clusters in the next 10 years in adventurous coastal areas and develop 3 to 4 leading maritime economic centers in the Southeast Asian region. The cluster will prioritize services, products with added value, attract large-scale enterprises and high-tech projects to contribute to green growth and protect the marine ecological environment as well as the marine economy. They are also expected to contribute to consolidating and strengthening national defense and security in seas and islands. Notably, developing sea and island tourism is one of the priorities for effectively tapping the potential and trends of tourism resources in each region and the entire coast of Vietnam.
The capital city of Hanoi wants to plant more trees along its urban roads towards the goal of 250,000 trees this year.
This initiative is to help achieve government's ambitions to plant 1 billion trees in the 2021 to 2025 period. Phạm Văn Đồng, Võ Trí Công, Văn Cao, Hoàng Quốc Việt, and Thăng Long Boulevard are some of the trees in Hanoi that now have a greener look by the addition of trees. Numerous environmentalists have voiced support for the need of increasing trees coverage in Hanoi's metropolitan core and other areas. In addition to considerably aiding the environmental conservation and enhancing people's quality of life, a city's cultural and tourism qualities will increase as its tree population grows. Every citizen needs to join together to plant new trees and maintain the health of the ones that are already there, so that the trees can mature into a robust barrier that protects the environment. The city can become fully eco-friendly until every resident takes personal responsibility for protecting the environment.
Medical tourism has emerged as the major trend around the world. Particularly, experts said the post-COVID-19 era would be a booming period for all types of healthcare services. However, this new kind of tourism has not effectively exploited in Vietnam.
According to the Vietnam National Administration of Tourism, there will be a shift in the tourism trend in the future, especially long-term trips will no longer be mere sightseeing trips. It will be a combination of relaxation and the use of services to strengthen physical and mental health. The main reason for wellness tourism to be ignored in Vietnam is a lack of comprehensive research on its potential, as there are no specific orientations and policies for the development of this type of tourism. Over recent years, many hot mineral springs have opened for tourists, such as Quang Hanh in Quảng Ninh Province, Mỹ Lâm, Tuyên Quang Province, and Thanh Thủy, Phú Thọ Province, which offers Japanese-style healthcare tourism services with hot spring baths. Before the COVID-19 pandemic erupted, about 350,000 foreigners came to Vietnam in 2018 to have medical examinations and treatments, generating a turnover of $2 billion. Meanwhile, every year, about 40,000 Vietnamese people travel abroad for healthcare services in combination with tourism and spend billions of dollars. To meet the demand of tourists, some travel agencies have developed a wide range of tourist products associated with maintaining and promoting people's health, such as yoga on beach and massage therapy, offering a fresh experience for visitors.
The northern mountainous province of Sơn La has a broad reputation for exciting outdoor activities, as it offers tourists a collection of wide spaces such as pine forests and tea plantations. When visiting Sơn La, visitors should not miss Nang Tien or Fairy Waterfall, which boasts pristine beauty and serenity.
Located about 700 kilometers from Vân Hồ district, Fairy or Chiang Khoa Waterfall is one of the most stunning and famous in the local area. The three-tier falls and calm turquoise water will keep visitors enchanted for a long period.
I have introduced Fairy Waterfall to my friends and cousins, who are all impressed by its beauty. This is the first time I have come here, and it was worth the 2 hours of travel.
Fairy Waterfall is a highlight of tourism in Vân Hồ district. It has helped improve local livelihoods and made a contribution to protecting forests.
In the first half of this year, we catered to 80,000 visitors and earned some $500,000 in tourism revenue, most of which came from Fairy Waterfall.
Recognized as a provincial-level relic site, thanks to its jaw-dropping landscapes and diverse ecosystem, Fairy Waterfall has become a highlight in Vân Hồ District's tourism development plan.
And that's a wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching. See you next time.